like and subscribe. What is something you have that you're pretty sure no one else has? My dad saved the very button that the King of Sweden pushed to engage a new production line in the factory he worked in. The factory was shut down a few years later, and Dad took the opportunity to bring the button with him on his last days of work. Edit. Haha, the king didn't work in the factory. It was as an opening ceremony for the production line. The wood industry is huge in Sweden, so it was a kinda big deal for the economy, and so on and so on. A key to unlock the B6 level on an elevator in the World Trade Center along with a matching Port Authority issued ID card. I have a dimple in my thigh from when my mother had an amniocentesis when she was pregnant with me, and they hit me with a needle. It's a scar from before birth. Edit. My highest rated comment, and turns out it's not uncommon at all. Mission failed successfully. I'm sure other people have it, but not many people have both. I inherited a real Apollo 11 patch that went to the moon from my grandfather who worked on the mission, and my aunt gave me a Mercury astronaut test helmet worn by Alan Shepard. 800-day streak in Duolingo. Semicolon. Edit. The streak is actually 794. I suppose you will pardon the roundup. I know about streak freezes, but I haven't used more than 4 or 5 of them. The ones that protect your streak for the whole weekend, I've never used those. Language, asterisk asterisk. I went through Japanese, German and Italian, and I've been focusing only on Italian for the last year and a half. I'm a Spanish speaker. Did I learn? Asterisk asterisk. Well, as much as you could expect from 5 minutes a day. I guess by now I have a decent tourist level, and could more or less handle myself around Italy, but I'm very far from maintaining a casual conversation. Congratulations for all your streaks, higher than mine and otherwise. Keep up learning. Asterisk, you know what happens if you don't. Asterisk. Mint condition Nirvana ticket for a concert they never played due to Kurt Cobain's death. April 94, Manchester GMX. I have a tiny school book from the 1800s and the covers are filled with the writings of a little girl. I am trying to track down her descendants to give them this book because I don't like having something so valuable and irreplaceable in my possession, but there is no other little book like it. It is a history book and many of the entries would now be considered racist, especially toward Native Americans, and also this little girl, and likely her children and grandchildren, are long gone. A piece of a turbine from a crashed Airbus A300. My grandfather was on the US Indianapolis during WWII, and was transferred off of it, before they delivered the bombs, and it sank a vertical bar. He happened to take a book from the shipper's library, and never returned it. I inherited all of his books, and happened to stumble across it, while going through Termo vertical bar. It was stamped with the shipper's library stamp. So unless any other sailor took a book from the library of the US Indianapolis before it sank, and then held onto it all these years, this may be the only one in the world. A Contra Northeast's cartridge autographed by Billy D. Williams. The master recording of the Phantom of the Opera, or part of it, anyway. My dad was the recording engineer, so he had the tape from when they made an album of the show with the original cast. Edit. Bonusy Termo vertical bar. A silver Tiffany's cup and spoon that was given to me when I was born by Phyllis Diller. She also had it in great love. Phyllis Diller. Edit 2. Haha, clearly worded the Phyllis Diller bit oddly. My parents were friends with her, so she gave them an engraved silver Tiffany's cup and spoon when I was born. She was in no way involved in the birth. 14 copies of Nintendo Land on the Wii U. Source, https://inga.com/gallery/pmo8vu. Funny. I actually have 11. I bought them from GameStop for $1 each forever ago, knowing they'd be worth hanging on to. Edit, since it'd be a dumb thing to lie about. http://imga.com/a/x7fpur. Edit, exactly what I deserve as my top comment ever. Thanks, internet. My dumb cat. He just fell out the drawer he was napping in, meowed at me, and sheepishly left the room. My grandfather's diary, when he was lost at sea during WW2. Records deaths and a few comments about raging hunger. 6 weeks adrift. Edit. Here's the backstory. He was serving in the merchant navy on a ship in the South Atlantic. They got torpedoed by a U-boat and came under fire. His cousin took a shell to the chest, killing him instantly in front of him. They scrambled to the lifeboats and got into one. The ship went down. After all the commotion, the U-boat resurfaced and the German captain spoke to them. The merchants were unarmed. He explained that they were at war and attempted to give the sailors bread and potatoes. Fearful that they were poisoned, the food was thrown overboard. They were adrift miles from land, unable to see the shore or any landmarks to navigate to. Over the coming weeks they collected rainwater and tried to fish as best they could, but they were starving. The entries in the diary are brief but concise. People were dying of their injuries and dehydration. After roughly 6 weeks they were spotted by another merchant ship and rescued. When they returned to the UK they were awarded medals, but they refused them, turning their merchant navy pins upside down, MN to NW, to represent not wanted. He never spoke about this to me directly, as after the war he did not want to relive the experience. He had 2 children and 5 grandchildren, and passed away in 1995. Vivian, Ted, Fowler. RIP. NB. Other family members have requested reading it, but it's in such bad condition, 77 years old, that I refuse to let it out of my sight. It's kept in a plastic bag in a drawer away from harm. World's longest spinning fidget spinner. My father works for a ball bearing company. They developed the world's longest spinning fidget spinner for the Guinness Book of World Records as a PR piece. He got to keep the spinner after the trials and it now sits at my desk at home. Update, I meant longest in terms of time spun, not length. I added a video in the comment thread for those interested. Update 2, I'll add the video here as well. https://yao2 b/a79gfq0dcis. Update 3, I mentioned this in the other comments, but to clarify, he got to keep the original prototype. From what he told me, they ended up making more, to be given to clients as gifts, and be used to in the record-breaking spin. My 2 fully functioning kidneys are both on my left side. Edit to answer questions BC. I'm tired of typing on my phone. My mom took me to the doctor when I was 2/3/4, not sure exactly. Early 80s, so technology wasn't the greatest. I think they did an ultrasound and kept bringing in doctors and nurses to look at it. Of course they didn't tell my mom anything right away. I had had a lot of bladder infections and they were trying to figure out why. I think they said my kidneys are also small, but they are both there. I got to see an X-ray about 10 years ago BC. A doctor had never seen or heard of it. Who would have guessed this would be my highest comment? BA, blood type. A is for anomalous. I cannot give or receive. Born with hemophilia, but developed platelets around age 3. My blood has been used to develop treatments and pharmaceuticals. I have an extended car warranty. We've been meaning to reach you to talk about that. A first-gen iPod prototype from 2001 with hand-soldered components. Nice try, FBI. A human atlas bone from the site of a medieval prison. 25 years ago my then BF was working as the lowest ranked barrow pusher on a building site. Foreman knew that ancient bones may turn up, and knew he was supposed to send for the archaeologists if so. Bones turned up. Foreman said that, we are filling in, not getting behind schedule for some old type prisoner bones. BF tried to say something, but would have been fired if he pushed it. He was pretty horrified, but couldn't lose his job, and crept back to take a bone after the site closed. In his mind it was a way of saying we'll remember you, even if you're under concrete. We were only teenagers, so didn't really know what to do with it for the best. I have kept it in a box ever since. I know I should do something with it. A birthmark on my chest, the exact size and placement of a pair of dog tags. I did serve too. My grandfather was one of the lead engineers on the Oxcart/Blackbird project for Lockheed. He engineered the pressure lock system for the cabin for high altitude. I'm in possession of a miniature proof of concept he made for the lock. My great-great-grandfather's 1923 retirement watch. A Howard, never used, still in the original case. This reads like an eBay listing. A necklace of my own teeth. To clarify, it is a necklace of my baby teeth. For some reason, my parents thought it would be a fun idea for the tooth fairy to return my teeth on a necklace. It's stored away at my dad's place. I've never worn it out. I'm not crazy, lol. A near mint 78 RPM pressing of Go to the Mardi Gras by Professor Langha. A piece of the wreckage from the day the music died. A cassette tape of Les Claypool playing All of Animals by Pink Floyd on an acoustic guitar in some basement in Santa Cruz, California from some point in the 1990s. This invisible, probably imaginary little splinter stuck, since forever, in the inner side of my right thigh, which randomly pierces my skin when I'm walking, forcing me to go to a bathroom, pull down my pants and check if it's actually there. Never had anything, but I feel this since I was a kid. My artsy German Shepherd puppet. https://inga.com/a/z9sbs. It's from the TV show *DANGER5**, and I dropped $1,000 on it a few years ago at an auction the producers of the show put on to sell a bunch of props. It's the only one in existence, since I heard the other puppet was lost, which is why it wasn't even part of the auction. For those of you unfamiliar with the show, it's a hilarious Australian comedy about a group of spies who are trying to kill Hitler, but the show, at least the first season, is shot like it's from the 1960s. Here are some of the scenes featuring my puppet. https://yao2b/rickelmbeck0. And add a bonus video of my puppet watching himself. https://yao2b/afo4llmg5uck. I have tickets to some MLB playoff games that never happened. My grandmother worked for Ticketron back when that was a thing. She left behind a bunch of memorabilia. Some used tickets to events and such. Ticketron handled all the Mets affairs back then too. So, we would always get tickets to games. In all of the things left behind are 2 different bundles of 3 tickets each for the Mets 1985 playoff games. Only, the Mets didn't make the playoffs in 1985. I'm unsure if it was a printing error for the 86 baseball year, or they were printed off in expectation of them making the playoffs. But either way, I have them. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.